Hey guys, it's Mrs. Grissom, and if you watched my other video that I just recorded earlier today, the one that shows all the new books that are in the library, I mentioned these 5. I just showed you the covers, but in this video I am going to give you a little more detail about the 5 chapter books that I got that are new. So first is Glitch by Laura Martin, and I'm going to read the inside covers of these so you have an idea what these are about. Regan and Elliot are training to become glitchers, people who travel through time to stop others from altering history in order to change the future. The two have always been enemies, and it doesn't help that Regan has failed her practice simulation of Abraham Lincoln's assassination again, while Elliot gloats. But when they find an illegal letter from Regan's future self warning that they'll have to work together to prevent something terrible from happening, everything changes. Thrust together as a team, they set out to decipher the mysterious set of clues sent from the future. When the unthinkable happens, they both realize that what Regan's letter was all about and why her future self risked everything to send the message. Only Regan and Elliot can save everyone they love, and to do it, they'll need to break every rule they've ever been taught. This was a really, really fun, action-packed book. And like I said, the 2 main characters, they're glitchers. There are 2 types of people that travel in time. There's basically the good people and the bad people. Regan and Elliot are the good kinds. They travel back in time to try to stop the other group called Butterflies, because the Butterflies are trying to change the past, and the glitchers are trying to preserve the past. So this was a really, really good book. So there's that one. Next is Linda Sue Park's Prairie Lotus. This is a historical fiction. Okay, Dakota Territory, 1880. When Hannah arrives in the town of LaForge, she sees possibilities. Her father could open a shop on the main street. She could go to school, if there is a school, and even realize her dream of becoming a dressmaker, provided she can convince Papa, that is. She and Papa could make a home here. But Hannah is half Chinese, and she knows from experience that most white people don't want neighbors who aren't white themselves. The people of LaForge have never seen an Asian person before. Most are unwelcoming and unfriendly, but they don't even know her. Hannah is determined to stay in LaForge and persuade them to see beyond her surface. In a setting that will be recognized by fans of Laura Ingalls Wilder's Little House books, this compelling story of resolution and persistence, told with humor, insight, and charm, offers a fresh look at a long-established view of history. So, Prairie Lotus. This one was good. I read this earlier this summer. So if you're in the mood for a historical fiction, this one's a good one. Next, one of my favorites of the year, called We Dream of Space by Erin Entrada Kelly. She has written a ton of books. You can see them here. She actually won a Newbery for this one. This one was really good too. I have in my library. I wish other people would read that because it's really good. It's kind of like a folk tale. But anyway, this one is We Dream of Space. Meet the Nelson Thomas siblings of Park, Delaware. Cash, who loves basketball but has a newly broken wrist, is in danger of failing 7th grade for the 2nd time. Fitch, who spends every afternoon playing Major Havoc at the arcade and wrestles with an explosive temper he doesn't understand. And Bird, Fitch's 12-year-old twin sister, who wants to be NASA's first female shuttle commander but feels like she's invisible. Cash, Fitch, and Bird live in the same house but exist in their own orbits, dreaming of hope, dreaming of belonging, and dreaming of friendship, dreaming of family, and dreaming of space. Fantastic book. I really, really like this one. And Mrs. Wee Wee is getting this one next. So, check that one out. Next is Brave Like That by Lindsay Stoddard. Now, Lindsay Stoddard also wrote a couple books. Just Like Jackie is one of my favorites from last year. Super, super good book. And this one I actually have checked out to myself. It's called Right as Rain. I'm going to read that next. But this one is called Brave Like That. Cyrus was just a baby when he was left on the steps of the Northfield firehouse. But growing up, surrounded by heroes, didn't make Cyrus brave like his firefighter, football star dad, or the firefighters who helped raise him. Instead, he's as skittish and scared as the stray dog who parks his head on Cyrus's shoulder and earns the perfect name, Parker. Cyrus's dad's strict no-pet rule means Parker can't stay. With football tryouts around the corner, a dog would only be a distraction. But a distraction is exactly what Cyrus wants, from the fact that he's the only 6th grader who can't read a whole book by himself, from the way his 2 best friends are treating the new kid, and from how he'd rather tap his feet to a record than score enough touchdowns to break one. Cyrus feels as out of place as the stray dog who captured his heart. But if fitting in means pretending to be someone he's not, maybe this is the year Cyrus can decide to be his own kind of normal. And there's nothing braver than that. This one is on my to-be-read list. I really want to read this one because it sounds good, and it's got a lot of good talk with it. And last but not least is Lois Lowry's On the Horizon. This is another historical fiction. Every person has a place in history. Two-time Newbery medalist Lois Lowry reflects on her own in this moving account of the lives lost and forever altered in the bombings of Pearl Harbor and Hiroshima. Drawing on the stories of real people at Pearl Harbor and Hiroshima, as well as her own memories, Lowry introduces readers to the only set of twin sailors aboard the USS Arizona, a Japanese child folding origami cranes in the wake of the unfathomable horror of the atomic bomb, and even her own grandmother. Through each vignette, this stunning work of verse contemplates humanity and war, sings with pain and truth, and emphasizes the importance of empathy and bridging cultural divides. In turn, haunting, heartbreaking, and uplifting, On the Horizon searches for commonality and connection and will remind readers of the horrors and heroisms in our past while offering hope for our future. This is super, super short, and it's written in verse. I'm guessing when I read this, it'll take me maybe a half an hour to read the whole thing. So if you want a quick read, if you're a nonfiction person that's interested in World War II, this might be a good one. Once I read it, I will let you know what I think about it. So 5 new books. If any of them sound good, make sure you use the form online to put books on hold.